the House of Vibe podcast. We have a special guest today. My mom, Layla Alo, formerly known as Layla Caballero.
Why would you do that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Elizabeth Piedrahita here to my frontal cortex. What's up, everybody? But yeah, it's April 24th. It's a Wednesday night, and we are watching the Cavs versus the Indiana. We're watching the Cavs versus the Pacers, and
I think it's rude that you didn't introduce Pam. She's also in the room and part of this podcast.
That's right. Pam the cat is part of the podcast. That dumb bitch.
You mean the animal, the mean animal?
Yeah,
dude, she almost killed the dragonfly. I saved the dragonfly. It was a baby dragonfly.
You should have let her play with the dragonfly.
No.
It was entertaining.
My mom is condoning a dragonfly murder.
She's from the Roman times where they had gladiators, humans fight lions, so she doesn't understand what it's normal entertainment.
Last name.
So the first topic that I wanted to bring up quickly is I went with a coworker of mine. We went to go see Man the Hunter, their EP release, and they performed at the Rock Bros or the attic at the Rock Bros, I believe. The attic at the Rock Bros.
Rock Bros?
I think it's the attic at the Rock Bros. But anyways, it's a bar in Ybor, and I'd never been there before, and it was actually really nice. It's a super nice venue, really classy looking.
What makes it nice?
It just looks super classy. It looked like somewhere a comedian would perform at.
What do you mean classy?
Like it just had nice wood inside. Like it had
did.
nice designs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
How nice was the wood inside?
I think there was a chandelier in there.
Is it
Oh, that's
like for older people?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what makes it nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's
It
not like a
looked-
dive
It looked like
bar.
it was for old people.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
just thought it looked really classy.
Is that Danny has an old soul?
Yeah,
That's
no,
what it is.
it was nice.
I mean, he's just old, so.
There you go.
25. But Jordan Esker and the 100% also played with them, so that was cool. It was nice to hear them. It's been a while since the tour.
It's been a while.
But yeah, that was great. And
What kind of music do they play?
Man the Hunter.
Yes.
Man the Hunter plays desert rock, is what I would call it. They actually
Like Queens of the Stone Age?
Sorry,
Yes.
but could you explain this? I mean, I'm in the over 50 category. So
Well,
I
how
think
old are
you
you,
need to-
Lila? What,
I
51
think
in
you
2
need to
days?
give me more explanation than that.
So it's rock, but it's not fast-paced rock. There's moments of it, but for the most part, it's like cool, almost like slow rock. You know, it's very like ambient rock is the best way to explain it.
I mean, Queens of the
So
Stone
it's
Age.
got
Queens of the Stone Age.
melodic kind of rock, and then fast, and then kind of.
Less straight 4/4 drum beats. Like, you know, there's not much of the. It's not like that. It's like literally like a drum, like a lot of.
So how's
Tom-
the beat? How's the beat?
I can't. I would be like doom 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 like something like that, and then you know just kind of like a very like trippy-ish sounding guitar riff on distortion and stuff like that, with very like ambient vocals like.
Add reverb. Is that actually one of their songs?
No, but it's
Okay.
similar
Is
like
there
that.
someone from the 70s or
That you can compare 'em
maybe-
to?
Yeah, 70s, early 80s that they could sound like? Because, you know, this is
Not helping.
I would
little bit
say
hard to
the
grasp.
the closest thing I can think of is Led Zeppelin, like no quarter
all right,
kind
now
of.
we're getting it. But Led Zeppelin can be very loud.
Yeah, but they're not loud like that though. They're like no quarter, but most of their songs are slow like that and
All
very dark sounding. Yeah.
So,
So.
did you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, it was
a good
great.
show.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good fucking cool. I think what I don't know. I was drinking So
you go.
it was loud. I may have misheard this, but the drummer of Man the Hunter came over and he recognized me, which was always cool. He's like, "You're from House of I, right?" And I
That's
was
it.
like,
That's why you like it.
"No,
That's it.
no."
Like, that dude was cool, man. He recognized
He
my
recognized
face.
me. That's why he's cool.
Watch out. Oh my god, the computer almost fell
Holy
over.
balls!
What a disaster that would have
He
been.
got all nervous when, we put him on the spot.
Yeah, he's like leaning back now. He's like, yeah, so my face.
What was I saying? Oh
He's
yeah.
all red.
So, fuck you guys. He told me, I believe, that the singer's dad, who recently passed away, I think, rest in peace to that gentleman. I think he's the owner of Beef O'Brady's.
Oh wow.
Like
The singer's dad.
franchise or like
No, the franchise, the chain restaurant. Which I was like, no way.
I mean,
So I might be wrong. For all I know, he said something completely different.
he's probably the owner of a Beef O'Brady's.
I think he said the owner of Beef O'Brady's, like he owns.
So like the CEO
he made,
of Beef O'Brady's.
Yeah.
What is that guy doing? Not
playing
already
at
famous.
this place and
Well, no, I mean
No, I'm talking shit.
yeah, he's probably like, he's got money and stuff, and he's probably just, which is cool. I mean, I think it's kind of honorable. Like he's playing music and he's probably got money. He's just doing it for the fun of it, which is pretty cool, I think. And he's good too. The guy's fucking great,
That's
So,
good.
yeah, I don't know his name, but
Dude, if you're listening, dude,
dude,
You're
I
a
enjoyed
dude.
your show.
dude.
And he seems to be
he doesn't really know your name. He doesn't know really if you're related to Beef O'Brady.
He
But
doesn't know.
he does remember that you said that you knew him.
You've clipped twice now.
It's all about
because you have to
Daniel.
laugh right into people's ears.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to throw a shitload of compression on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he knows nothing about you, dude. But dude,
Thanks.
yeah, dude.
But yeah, so that was cool, and yeah, it was great to go and see those two bands, and yeah, I'll be seeing more bands in the future.
Nice.
I would say that we're going this weekend, but we'll be playing on Friday, so
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We'll
what are you guys playing?
we'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that.
We'll get into that
You mean
later.
no self-plug yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We
yet.
plug
Okay.
later.
But what? That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm in sales, so I'm constantly plugging.
She's like, yeah, I know this drink was great, but why not buy this ad time in my my channel?
My mom is actually the inventor of plug it in, that slogan. She created that catchphrase for Glade. So
Yeah.
thanks to Layla Alo for plug it in, the jingle.
Plug it in, plug it in. That
You're
was
gonna
it.
do it. Plug it in.
That's what she said. Ellie went to see Modest Mouse. How was that, dude?
Yes.
Where at, Ellie? Hold on.
I went to Orlando, the Hard Rock in Orlando. It was honestly Modest Mouse is this weird band that generally are just pretty much terrible live. It's hard to say, but it's true. But this has to have been the best show. I've seen them 5 times?
How do
counting
you
the
describe
show?
their music, Ellie?
I don't know, Layla. If you don't know who Modest Mouse is, just Google Float On and then don't listen to that song and then listen to something else.
Why would you
from
tell them to do that then?
Because everyone knows Float On. So it's
Oh.
that band that plays Float On, but not that song.
everybody, because I don't know. So
Yeah, but you're over the 51 category, so as you announced earlier.
then it's not everyone. It's everyone under 50.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, the point is, the show was good. They played really weird songs. I don't mind seeing them multiple times because I'm hoping for a better show than the last one. But then also it's just interesting to hear all the songs that I like from them live, hopefully at some point. If I, keep
think
seeing
you were
them.
under the influence as well.
I was very drunk. I wasn't very drunk actually. Yeah, they played 2 or 3 songs. Trailer Trash, Custom Concern, and Autumn Beds. 3 songs that I've never seen them play live. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And they played them really
So
well.
how did they get to where they are now?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
I'll tell you how they got there.
All right.
Well, at least this is my opinion on how they, or my perception of how they got there. What I would imagine is that I believe they started out in Seattle. Is that right?
I was really hoping that you'd be like, well, they got on a bus, and then they drove to Florida, and they unloaded their gear,
And they came to Tampa and started playing.
They booked
in
a
April
show.
City.
yeah, they booked a show. Their manager probably was on it, and and then they ended up in Florida.
Well, yeah, because they started out in Seattle, I think.
Seattle, outside of Seattle.
Outside of
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah.
And I think that what they did, I mean, they're also an older band, so I think they come from that generation where you would record or you would play a lot of shows, you would get some type of notoriety, and then you would record an album, and then you would get signed to a label. So it was under that when music was actually making money under a signed label.
On their labels.
Yeah, because they're older. They're definitely older.
Yeah. They have how many albums out now? Like
Spotify.
seven or eight, I think.
The thing is that they're not really full length albums. They actually only have like 3.
No.
They're
they have
EPs.
So
more
how
than
long
that.
they been
They're
in the,
EPs.
how long they been in the music industry?
Since '97, probably around there.
I would have to
It's
say
almost
that's-
like 20 something years.
Yeah, I would have to say that sounds about right.
Yeah. No, probably more than that, right?
Let's find out. I'm looking them up on Spotify since the albums have the dates. The thing is, yeah, honestly, if you pay attention, they're not full length albums. That's not what they're releasing.
Well, on Spotify, the albums I believe are the full length albums.
No, they have the EPs on there.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Well,
I
but,
guess I guess you're right because they don't have
No one's first and you're last. On there.
Exactly.
You have to.
Do you see
Search
them
for it.
adapting now that the music industry has changed so much? Or are they...
I don't think they have to per se. I think bands that are already that came out in that time and had some type of, I guess,
following.
following.
Their
Yeah.
first album came out in '96 because I would say it's the same thing with Radiohead. Radiohead didn't have to do anything after they did Pablo Honey. Those people followed and changed with the whole. Like I went from tapes to CDs to CD players to cars having CD players to
But-
MP3s and downloading everything digitally.
Yeah, but with which band you're talking about that you did all that?
With music in general, I changed with all the bands that I liked. I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers did the same thing. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were tapes, were CDs, and then eventually, I mean, just put everything online. I mean, I don't own Modest Mouse's last album physically.
Right.
I have it downloaded on Google Play. So it's like that's weird.
Did you actually pay for it?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I know that nowadays artists or like the artists from back then, they're making most of their money from touring. They're not making money off of music sales because Spotify and stuff like that doesn't necessarily pay that well.
I know, so that's my question. I mean, a band that started the industry completely different, making money, selling albums, selling their singles and their music, and they're older.
hmm
So how do you think they're adapting? I mean, this must be kind of so different for them.
I think, well, obviously social media is going to be a big, that's going to be a big thing. But I think, like I said again, like they had a huge following already, so it was easy for them to just make, like, let's just say, like, hypothetically, they just made a Facebook page, they made an Instagram page, and then someone takes care of that, and then, you know, all their followers just follow them because they like their music already. You know, obviously they put their music on Spotify and stuff like that. And then the market right now seems like what it's dictating is that they're just performing a lot more to make money and probably selling a lot of merch. But the thing is, the only thing I wouldn't know is whether or not the merchandise they have now is theirs 100%. I don't know. That's
Did
the
you
thing I
buy
don't know.
any stuff when you went to the concert? And stuff?
merchandise, no.
Any of your friends?
I know they make.
You guys are cheap people.
I was wearing a Modest Mouse t-shirt. That's just I don't need to be wearing a Modest Mouse t-shirt at a Modest Mouse show and then stand in line to buy another Modest Mouse shirt.
Well, why not?
I think if Brock listened to this, the singer, he would be like, "Yeah, you fucking don't." So
It's expensive. They're like $50, $60 shirts sometimes, right?
yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Like Radiohead shirts were like $60.
I buy them
$50.
online, not at shows.
Yeah. But the other thing too is that I know that at least I've heard one of his songs on commercials, so I'm sure he makes money off of that as well.
Who Modest Mouse?
Modest Mouse, yeah. Float On. for Michelin, for the Michelin Man, right?
I don't
Michelin
remember.
tires.
I don't remember. I haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, he did do that. He did do
Yep.
that.
So the bands that, if you want to talk about like more like younger bands like Tame Impala, for example, like they're. I mean, it's funny because I feel like a lot of people still don't know them, but they have multiple songs that I've heard like on commercials and stuff like that. That's how I found a couple bands. I know that Allie, Kenny's sister, she told me about the Alabama Shakes, but I never actually listened to them until I heard it was on an Apple commercial, one of their
Was Apple,
songs,
right?
Sound and Color.
Oh, interesting.
And then I was like, holy shit, that sounds amazing. What is that? And then I looked it up. I was like, I literally looked up on Google, what's the song for the Apple commercial? And the Alabama
Sure
Shakes
enough,
came up.
Thanks,
And then
Google.
that's how I got into their music.
That song is so good.
So
Well, I know Rafael, who's obviously your sibling.
well, no one. So yeah, Rafael is my brother. For those of you that
Younger
don't
brother.
know, yeah,
Yeah, and younger. Yes.
yes,
A
younger.
reckless younger brother.
Getting roasted and not even here.
Nah, he's getting better when he sleeps.
Beautiful.
He says that he's gotten to know new music through Spotify and Pandora. Like that's how he gets new music, new artists.
Yeah, I did too.
I think it's a lot more there than through Facebook. I think
Oh, for
Facebook
sure.
controls so much of what people see nowadays because they're in the business of making money.
Yeah.
I mean, Spotify does too, but it's a different model.
Yeah, no.
So-
I just did the Miami thing. Yeah, no. I actually found a couple bands through Spotify as well, 'cause they always do the bands that sound like this or similar bands to this. I found Broadcast that way 'cause Kenny introduced me to Deerhoof, and then I found Broadcast, but what was the other band that I was listening to for a while that I got into recently? Broadcast and
The one that Frankie told you about?
no.
So we must
Oh,
plug,
Deer Hunter. Deer
we
Hunter.
must plug. I mean, I have to plug the fact that House of I is now on Spotify.
Yeah, we do that at the end.
Damn it, Lila.
But yeah, we are on
Remember,
Spotify.
I'm gonna plug away. That's what I do for a
Yeah.
living.
But yeah, our album is on there.
There
If
you
you
go.
haven't heard any of the previous podcasts already, it's on there. Alienation. Look it up, motherfuckers.
right.
I had a
All right.
coworker, actually not a coworker of mine, a rep of mine, tell me that she looked it up and that she usually listens to like heavier music,
Mhm.
but that she really, really liked how he sounded.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
now
How do
on
you
a-
guys see the band changing from what it? I mean, I think you guys have
She's
changed,
interviewing
but how do
us.
you see your music changing in the last couple of years?
Can I just say, like, before we started this, my mom was like,
No, I don't.
I don't want to do this. Like, I
No.
don't. What am I gonna say? And she's just fucking like taking over right now, just like asking all the good questions and shit. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you asking before I rudely interrupted you?
I mean, you guys have been with House of I and started it. What was it like 6 years ago? 7 years?
No,
6
8 years, 9 years, 8 or 9 years ago.
You longer than I have, of course.
2010 to 2009. Yeah, so 8 years ago.
How do you guys see it that the band and the sound? How has it changed?
I don't know. I feel like we've been playing a lot of older music for a while now, so we haven't really learned any new songs I mean, the last new song I think we learned was Caveman and The End of Death. Those are the last new ones. And I wrote-
Sidewalk?
No, Sidewalk I wrote when I was like 16.
Yeah, but that we learned it and actually wrote it.
No,
wrote
I'm
it?
talking about like new sound. New sound.
I see.
Yeah, but I think there's a progression in the sound. I mean, I don't know how. It's interesting you don't see it that way.
Well, because Sidewalk, for example, at least my guitar part, the melody, and Kenny's guitar part were all written already, like years ago.
Kenny's part was written.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote that part like Yeah, literally when that song was written. It was on Guitar Pro.
I could have sworn. Yeah, yeah.
On
I
the
guess he
old
was
program I
just.
used to make all my music on. It was
I guess
such a
I
bitch
just.
to use.
I'm connecting him relearning that as you guys writing
He
it.
did have to relearn it. Yeah.
But I mistook that as him just writing it.
No,
on the
nope.
spot, but-
He wrote it out, literally tabbed it out, and that's how we used to make music, actually, or that's how we used to write songs. We used to tab out the guitar parts on a program called Guitar Pro,
Yeah.
and it was really difficult because you would literally have to insert the tab number. I mean, it's not the same, but it's very similar to like actual like music notation.
Writing
Like
music.
yeah, like writing music, except you're writing out the numbers of the like literally the tabs. You get what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the fret number on the guitar?
On the guitar
Yeah.
itself.
So if I was doing a chord, for example, I'd have to write, like, let's say I was doing, just like a simple major chord. If I would have to write 1 on the E string, then 3 on the A string, then 2 on the D string, then 1, 1, 1 on the other ones. I'd have
It's
to do
almost
that.
like writing
Can
code.
you? And I'm
Okay.
sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. I think our food is calling you.
Oh,
The gate.
Oh
yes.
yeah. You guys gotta eat.
Yes, we're
Let
starving.
them in.
Yeah, I'm letting them in right now.
This is the most advantageous entrance that I have seen. You put your code, and then like 3 cars can get in at the same time
Yeah,
with
yeah.
one single code.
Yeah. So
And-
if you're a murderer, all you have to do is
Just
just wait
chill.
for delivery.
Just chill, and then you're in, man. Let me give you our address and our apartment number, and
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could probably just call anybody
And they
on
would
that
open
list,
it.
and they'd just let you through. Probably.
So it's a delivery with 3 criminals behind. All
Right,
right.
Yeah, yeah. mean-
so our music growing. I don't know. We've been playing the same songs for a long time. I don't mean to sound.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I don't know, like
But
Recently is when I feel like we're really gonna get down to what our sound is, because now Emmett is gonna be writing his own parts now.
well, he did write his own parts.
Yeah, it's true. Some of them he learned.
But
It was like a
like-
balance.
Well,
Only a
okay,
couple
I'm an
songs.
outsider, and if you hear the version of Monkey 8 years ago
That's different.
Yeah, it's
versus
different now,
what
yeah.
it's now, it's the same song,
Yeah.
but it sounds different.
It does sound different, yeah.
So that's how did it change? I mean, how do you describe that change?
Well, when we first learned it, it was a dance beat. It was that was how it first started, and then when she joined, it kind of turned into kind of what it is now, and then ever since it's just gotten, I think, a little heavier and more
So
psychedelic.
What's the beat now compared to what it was?
It's like a 4/4 rock beat, basically.
Okay,
Or
Ellie,
funk
aren't
beat.
you
More
the
like a
drummer,
funk
Ellie?
beat. It's a
Yeah,
funk
more
beat.
more of a funk beat, because I'm
So-
following the guitar. So any like the strumming pattern from the guitar, I'm following that with a lot of like 1E and
Okay, give me a demo of this new.
I can't.
style
I mean,
beat.
I just
Oh,
just. Oh,
No.
that was
Here,
a very
I'm gonna pause this real
very
quick.
kind of like mimicking it.
Yeah,
Danny,
we
come
just received our food. That's why I had to pause right there. But anyways, yeah, we were talking about Monkey and the drum beat of that, and it's
I don't want to mouth it because I should be able to describe it and articulate it because I'm a drummer. It's
How
a
about this?
4/4.
Yeah, but
It's a
people don't
4/4.
understand that.
you know what the people can do? They can check it out on Bandcamp.
Oh,
House
he
of I.
plugged it in.
Plug it in. plug it in.
houseofi.bandcamp.com.
All
Yes, it's on the
right.
Bandcamp because it's actually on our EPs. Yes, Monkey.
Quick learner. I am
But
so
my
proud.
question is, that is the newer version of that song. Is that correct?
The one that we recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Before this one, I used to play it a lot more aggressively, and I used to play it a lot more teetering between rock and like ska almost.
Yeah, it's more psychedelic now than it was before in the past.
Crazy sounds, crazy sounds.
Okay.
More
Got it.
ambient.
Yeah. I like the way that we do that. Is it the bridge? I don't know what you would
So
call
you-
it, but that switch, the
Yeah.
the hard switch.
These days. Yeah.
That part, I think we do it a lot better now. I think it's a lot
Okay.
smoother, and I think that we have a hold of what the tempo is a little
So
bit better.
changing the topic.
Cool.
So, fortune cookies.
There are fortune cookies in
They-
that bag.
what do you think that little message for fortune cookies are?
What do you
for?
mean?
I think it's bullshit, is what it is.
I've read those and I'm like, I could apply this to Pam today. You know, like it'll be like, you know, take advantage of what you find today. And if like I could be like, hey Pam, you didn't take advantage of the dragonfly that was presented to you today, so work on that. You
Yeah.
know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, there's not much to say. It's just I don't even know how that started, but I think
It is actually not a Japanese or Chinese or Asian thing at all. Look it up. It was
well, there you
invented in California.
oh, there you go.
In California.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So even more bullshit.
Exactly. It is actually not part of their culture.
But going back to your question of new music and whatnot, I do think that the newer stuff is gonna have a lot more synthesizers, and
For you guys.
yeah,
Wow.
and a lot more electronic beats.
We're basically turning into mute math.
No, I've never listened to them, so
They're
I
very
guess I could-
electronic
I
and
get-
synthy.
I guess maybe I shouldn't say no, but
Speaking
Never.
of new sounds,
oh,
I bought a drum set today. Well, I didn't finish buying it. I was actually able to break down the payments into three very convenient and easy to do payments. Thank you, Sweetwater. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's 100% maple. It's a Ludwig. It's Evolution. It's a 6-piece. I'm probably just going to make it a
6-piece?
5.
yeah,
I'm
Maybe
prob-
perhaps.
two floor toms,
What
two
was
floor
that?
toms.
And in what car are you gonna fit this?
You know,
drum
we'll
set?
figure it out. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that. We're gonna because she needs to buy cases for it
Too, which is going to make it even harder to
to
like
fit
pack.
in a car.
Yeah.
So like we're probably gonna have to buy a bigger, either buy a trailer or try to find a van.
Oh, that trailer conversation again.
Yes. But and I'm not selling the drum set I have now. I've made that mistake in the past and I'm not doing it again.
No, it's a practice set. That's
It's
why.
now a practice set. I've made the mistake. I think most rookie drummers do, where you're like, oh, I can use this drum set for just like everything, and you can't. There's a
Yeah.
different where that starts happening to a drum set when you keep continuously putting it in and out of a car, and then especially like me being irresponsible, no cases ever until now, because hey, if I'm gonna drop $1,000 on a drum set, I'm gonna put it in the goddamn cases.
Yeah, protect
So
that
when
shit.
is the new drum set arriving?
Monday. I ordered it today.
Oh,
It was
alright.
picked up from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it's gonna be here by Monday. I love
You
Sweetwater.
order it today.
I literally ordered it on my lunch. I was listening to this podcast, and I was like, "Gear, yeah,
Did
let
you have
me
to pay taxes on it?
$10 extra." Oh yeah, there are taxes,
There
but
are
only
taxes.
$10 extra to break it up into 3 payments. I'm like, take my $10,
Yeah,
go buy crack
That's
with
a
it.
great
I
deal.
don't care. Exactly.
Did you say go buy what?
Oh,
crack
what?
with it.
Yeah, I was like, $10 to do that. That's really cheap. Just have 'em.
Remember, there's an over 50 adult on the podcast. So
What do you guys do? Opiates? I don't know.
No,
What is?
she's trying to say like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's actually a huge problem in the over 51 community.
Absolutely.
Opiates. We're laughing.
In Florida, it's true.
We're
yeah.
laughing, but it's actually true, especially in Florida.
Oh, I
true.
know. I understand.
And Pam has an
Painful.
opiate problem too. I tell her to get off the catnip.
Off
she
the
doesn't listen.
heroin.
She doesn't listen.
Oh, Pam.
Do you have anything to say? No, she ran away.
She ran.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then I guess going more towards like the new sound or whatever. I'm considering buying an electronic drum pad. That
To replace me.
no, she has to play it. She has to play it. So I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
What is an electronic drum pad?
So it's a square that has 8 pads on it.
Eight
That's separate-
squares
eight-
in this big square.
Yeah, and it has different sounds, like different like drum sounds on it.
Applied to each square.
Yeah.
This thing we saw was mad though. You can like buy attachments that go from this pad to your acoustic drum set, and now your acoustic drum set is triggering those sounds.
Yeah.
And which band that you guys know of uses that?
A lot of Modest Mouse I think uses it. Radiohead uses it.
Modest Mouse definitely used it. I saw it.
Awesome.
It wasn't an
Yeah.
octopad. It was just pads in general though. But pads in general do that kind of thing where it's like you're taking an electronic sound and you're putting it on a pad like I would on a drum set. and I'm smacking that to make that sound. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like just taking an acoustic drum set and now applying different sounds to each piece.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Yeah, it's
You can do a lot.
it's nice because what we were doing before, like we only really used it on one song, but Peace Walker, we were using my synthesizer
Synthesizer.
to do the electronic beat, but now she can just play that herself and we wouldn't have to necessarily loop. Like it's the only thing I could say that it would be useful for is if we were doing like an arpeggiator, to on the synth, but that's the only time I would say. But for that, you can just play on time. Like you can just play on a click track. You get what I'm saying? On a metronome.
I'm confused as to what you're saying.
Well, because
it does not have an arpeggiator on it now.
What?
That beat. I mean that string
No,
part.
no. But I'm just saying for like future references, like for like any looped stuff live or any, or like arpeggiated
As long as it's in the
stuff.
headphones in my ears and I don't have problems hearing it, I could just play to it.
Then you could play to it. Yeah.
Because now we have this thing next to me that is not requiring like a human, like it's not like you turn it on and turn it off. You're playing it. So as long as I'm on time with whatever it is.
Yeah, but that would be
it's easier.
difficult because what if the part is in the middle of the song and we're not playing to a click track? If you start playing that arpeggiator, you would have to like adjust to that tempo. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd have to be on a click track.
Yeah.
Mm.
But anyway,
Shallow
what?
identic.
My mom is looking very confused. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Absolutely, and I think that most people listening will feel the exact same way. So
I don't know. I've already shout out to Vincent. He said that he heard our podcast and he's a musician, so he'd get it.
Yeah, but she's saying we'd have to take into consideration our non-musician
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
An arpeggiator is a thing that makes a really weird sound, but on a very specific time.
I see.
It's
so it's like
I just rather
repeating.
listen to it and not understand it.
So
There
if
it
you're
is.
playing, like, let's say you're playing a chord on the keyboard or on the synthesizer, if you're playing, like, let's say you're playing 3 notes, what this arpeggiator does, if you hold those 3 notes down, it goes between those 3 notes, but quickly. So it'll be like, let's say it's da da da, right? Like the chord that you're playing, it'll go da 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 like between the notes. That's kind of what it
You
is.
see, that's what I needed.
Yeah, that's an
I
arpeggiator.
did
Repeats
the
the
demo,
sound.
and there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
There you go. Now we got it.
So if that doesn't happen,
For the
if
rest of us,
if it starts happening in the middle of the song, it's going to require me to be very specific on the timing. You'd have to be like right on it because otherwise it's going to sound weird unless that's what you're going for.
Because it has a set tempo on the
It
arpeggiator.
stays,
That's why.
since it's a machine, it stays on it. So everything else needs to follow that.
oh, you guys are moving up in technology and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say that my guitar rig is pretty much done. Honestly, there's not much left to buy. So,
I'm just
to be
about there.
honest, I mean, the only other thing I could really see myself doing is literally buying different guitars now. That's it. Like my pedal board is done. My amp is great.
You say that, but you're so.
If
get
anybody
bored.
has seen this metal pedal board, it's like 3 floors high.
3 floors high.
3 floors high.
Absolutely.
I have to
It's got
stand on a
25
building.
different pedals.
I've got 10 or 11 or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. You say that, but you get bored of things very easily. So I definitely see
He
you
has
going.
not gotten bored of you. So that's a good thing.
That's
That
not.
was great.
That's not even true.
No, I'm bored as
So
fuck.
not of
Yeah, you see what I
everything,
mean?
so That's awesome.
He just said he's bored as fuck. So I see you going. I want another amp.
No, I think that's the synthesizer. I think is gonna kind of help with that. The keyboard. I think that'll kind of take that away from me because that has so many different sounds I can.
That would be the Octopad
Mess
for me
with.
because I'm not gonna lie. Recently, I've been getting pretty tired of my drum set.
Yeah, makes
Like
sense.
I'm like I know what I can do on this already. Like now I want different sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But
how do you guys keep this relationship interesting if
Whoa.
you're so involved in music?
going
I mean,
into
and how do
it.
you make it so that it's
Look
not boring and all you
look at
talk
that.
about and do about is music?
Look
I
at that
mean,
cat.
We don't talk about music that much, actually.
That's a lie.
Yeah,
Well,
we don't though.
This morning we were like, so we have a show this Friday, and then he left. That's like he didn't even say good morning to me.
That's not true.
Oh, Danny, she remembered that.
No, that's not true.
That did not happen.
No, we have a lot of other passions together. Like we play soccer together.
We like sports. I think that helps too.
Yeah, it's the sports.
If I didn't
We
like
talk about
sports, man, I'd be in trouble.
Video games, even though I don't play as much, but that's another thing we do a lot. Honestly, we've been a little more attentive to the bands, like band aspect, just because of the podcast, for example, and the fact that we're trying to be more productive. But you would think like, oh, they're the drummer and one of the guitar players / songwriters, they're probably making songs all the time. We never write songs together ever.
Mm-mm. I don't think that's ever happened ever.
Yeah, and we've been together for 8 years.
Any anecdote of like playing live and like someone hitting on one of you guys and kind of like
What?
an interesting moment?
No, but there was one time at the Benz that we weren't playing. We just happened to be leaving, and this girl stopped me, and she goes, "Are you leaving or are you staying?" And I go, "I'm leaving," and she's like, I forget. She just made this face.
Oh, that's
like,
right. Yeah.
Like fuck.
I can only think that question was referring to one thing.
Yeah, like buy me a drink or something.
Let's
I don't know.
get to knowing each other.
I don't know. I wonder.
Your penis, my
Because
vagina.
I don't get hit on. I don't know if she does ever at shows, but I don't get hit on.
No, I do not get it on.
I don't know if they have they might think that I don't know. It's possible that they see us.
I think that it's just people don't look at me like that.
Or it could be the generation, like the millennials. Like maybe they're totally hip to the Me Too movement and not being aggressive, not
If I walk up
aggressively.
to this girl, she's gonna feel like I'm gonna try to rape her,
Yeah, exactly. So
even though I am not like that.
Interesting.
I've had many fucked up people come up to me and talk to me,
yeah.
and I don't just assume that they're trying to stick their hands down my pants.
That's the other thing too is like I for
I feel
all
like
in
I'm
for all I know, people that have came up to me just to talk have been trying to hit on me, but I'm just so oblivious to that I think they're just talking to me because they enjoyed the set or something,
Psych, jokes on you. They want your penis.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. I'm really bad with flirting. I don't know what that is. I insult you. I guess that's how I flirt. So if someone walked up to me and was really nice, I'd be like, okay. And then I would walk away. That would be it.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
No.
Oh, your set was really great. Thanks. Walk away.
She'd break up with me and then start dating that person.
I'm really bad with that.
For sure, she will do that. For sure.
What? Thanks and walk away?
Break up with Danny.
Of course.
Right in the middle of the show.
I'm a piece of shit, man.
I'd be like, you know what? Throw my drumstick on the floor. You're a piece of shit. And then walk away.
I'm out of this band.
Pam, what are you
Alright,
doing,
get
man?
out of
Get out of here.
Fucking biting on fucking wires and shit.
What the hell's the matter with you? No matter.
What else, dude? Is there any? Oh, well, you had a pretty cool topic. I guess we can end this on. We're almost at the 40-minute mark here, but you were saying about venues and up and coming artists. So, what did you have to say about that, Mom?
Well, I see how young talent like House of I and some of your other friends that have their own bands, that you kind of get screwed over all the time at these venues. They don't pay you. They want you to get a cut of the people at the door, but they don't really want to put the money up front. And I just think that more needs to happen to develop and to grow the young talent out there and to give them opportunities to earn some money. I mean, all the stuff that it takes to create music, it costs money, time, money, equipment.
Yep.
And then you guys go to these bars and they're benefiting, but they don't want to pay you. So I wonder how other bands deal with this. up and coming bands. What are your thoughts? How are you managing that? Or I'd like to hear comments, maybe comments on the podcast. I almost feel that there needs to be like some bands like Radiohead. Some of these bands that already made it, will be great for them to start a awareness about how things need to change.
I don't think they know though.
Yeah,
They're
I don't
like
think so
so
either.
out of like they're huge. There's no way that they would even know. I mean, they don't have to
But they
deal with
probably
that.
had the same struggles.
And I was about to say the opposite. I don't think that they did. It's like
Absolutely.
I-
There's
I
been
don't-
bands
Rem-
playing for free in bars forever.
The other thing too is that you have to understand that we live in a state where the music scene here isn't great. So for all we know, and I'm just saying that like literally I don't know. It could be the same like anywhere we go. It could be the same in New York. It could be the same in California. I have no idea. But what I'm trying to say is here people don't just show up for no reason. People don't just go out to see music.
which
You
is
have
why yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
what in my opinion and what I think is probably New York and in California and stuff like that. People just go out because they want to go do something. So the bands don't necessarily have to bring the people. So they end up getting paid regardless. Now it still might not be a lot. I have no idea. I've never played over there. Jordan would actually know more about this, which this would be a really
New
good
York.
topic to talk to him
Yeah.
about.
I think it would be good for you guys to get some bands together and
Talk about
talk
them.
about this.
Yeah, no, I want to bring
Yeah.
bands on this podcast.
I
for
would
sure.
say that the main reason why I feel like bands like that back in the day didn't have the problem that we have is because I feel like people were way more into going out to see live music in general than they are today. Everything is so easily accessible. I mean, I could see a festival in California live on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
So it's like unless I really want to see this band, I can go do something else. You know what I mean? I can go to a club. I could go to it's just other things. I could go out and do something else. I don't have to go to watch a band and pay to get in to watch this band that I don't know. That doesn't seem to be like an enjoyable pastime for people anymore. Like I feel like it was back in the day.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense. But again, it could also it could totally just be where we're from or where we're playing right
I
now.
guess, yeah, that's true.
It could be like I don't know. I mean, I remember Emmett saying that
One
in
of
New
the
York,
venues in New York, yeah.
that the place was packed without really. I don't know if they knew the bands that were playing, but Jordan's obviously not from there. I don't know if he's ever. I don't think he'd ever played there before. But he said the places were packed, but he felt like the people weren't as what's the word, as invested. You know what I'm saying?
In
Like they
them.
came to watch the show, but they weren't as invested in the music. They were just kind of there to be there. They weren't like, oh, I'm gonna check these guys out on Facebook now. I'm gonna go and follow their shit. Now it's possible that they didn't enjoy the music. It's possible that that might be the culture down there or whatever. But the point is that there was people at the show. It was a packed show. I think that's the point, kind of. Not really actually, because when we played in Tallahassee,
It was kind of like playing to zombies. They weren't paying attention.
yeah.
They were there to talk to each other and probably try to get laid.
Well, and I think that happens quite a lot. But the issue is that these venues don't want to pay for higher talent. I mean, you all are higher talent when you're entertaining a public there for 40 minutes, and these people are staying there maybe an extra 5 minutes because they heard one of your songs and liked them, and that 5 minutes
Bought them,
translates
yeah.
in an extra drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I will say about venues, because I know what they would say. They would say, well, bigger acts that come through here that might not be like Radiohead status, obviously, but acts that can sell tickets, for example, that can sell a show out, and I'm talking about maybe like 100, 150 people or something like that. Like they're making money because they have a deal with the venue, like after this amount of people, we get this cut from the door, and that's how they make their money. So apply that same system to the local acts, and that's why it's hard. I mean, in my opinion, it would be better for the local acts to just find venues that have a following already, and that way the bands can get a following. And the issue, I understand how a venue would easily go out of business, not paying the bands, for example, and how can I word this better? Because the thing is that the best places right now to play, at least in my opinion, are the breweries, because they pay, and they have people there all the time. So you don't even have to bring people; they're just there. And I've thought about this, like, why is it that that's not the case for the Crowbar, for example? I shouldn't have said their name, but that the Crowbar doesn't just have regulars there all the time, just like Green Bench, for example.
The
or
thing
something
is,
like
though, the thing is, I feel like because breweries, I get what you're saying, because it's not the alcohol.
Well, I
It could
think
be the alcohol
I think people go to breweries
for the novelty of having a weird beer.
right. It's a novelty, and they are actually going to consume. So maybe it's just their model is different. Maybe
You have the
the longer
Crowbar,
you're
which
there,
is,
the more beers you're going to try, and maybe that's why it pays off for them to have the music, because people stay longer.
Yeah, I mean,
It could
you have
be
the
that.
well, no, I mean
you have the Crowbar, which is basically a room, a bar, and a stage. So now you're tying into walking into there. Well, what's on the stage?
and I don't want to single out them either.
No, because the Orpheum works the same way. I think.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've heard the same story from a bunch of bars. It's
Yeah,
not-
I love playing there. I love playing at the Crowbar. It's a great venue. Well, it's all great. What we're trying to.
And my friends like hanging out there, so it's easy to get them to
Yeah.
go. It is.
I'm not trying to. Trying to call out venues or whatever. I'm just explaining the difficulties of booking shows, because I think what venues expect from the bands is you need to bring the people here to my bar. Now, that makes sense for an act that can actually that has a following already, that can just come down and sell out tickets. But for a local act, that's hard. I mean, I feel like that shouldn't be the case for a local act. I don't know.
Yeah, and especially when we're going to a place like many places where you have to not only pay to get in, but then pay for your drinks to get in. And it's like, well, now you're making it double work for us. It's like, we're going to start now. It's us and another local band. You have to pay to get in, and then you have to pay for your drinks. Well, what are people going to do? They're going to be like, well, I could do that, or I could go see an actual famous band that I know and I've been wanting to see for more money, but at least it's them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the Orpheum and the Crowbar are really close to each other, and they each have big acts. So if on the same night one of them has a bigger band that a lot of people know in the area, and I mean like just tiny amount bigger, right? Just a touring band that people know, a Florida band, and then they have Tampa bands, most people are probably going to go to the venue with the bigger band, because it seems to be more bang for your buck, because they're a touring act.
You know what I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but I think what would be cool of the venue, they could do this for all I know. I don't know. I feel like they would probably not do this because it wouldn't necessarily make business sense. But if you have a touring act that is at least gonna be close to selling out, make decent money, you should try and have a local act that might not have a huge following in that area, but that allows that local act to maybe gain a following, for example, from that crowd that's there. And then once they play the show again, like they try and book that venue again, they might have a bigger crowd come out, because they're like, oh, I remember that band. They were really good.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
because
saying?
I saw them tied with this bigger band. I wonder if maybe the venue's hands are tied because a lot of touring bands already have their opening act with them.
Well, yeah, and the venues also, that's not their core business is to sell beer.
Yeah,
It's to have the venue.
It's
to have
the
venue.
point is like they're gonna bring a band on that's gonna give them the most crowd, like the most
Yeah, people through foot
yeah,
traffic.
the most traffic.
Yeah, foot traffic.
So
For sure.
But yeah, I mean,
So,
it's
but it seems that breweries are maybe more relaxed, or people spend more time there.
I don't know
and
what it is. You know,
we should
because
ask a brewery and see why.
it's
Yeah.
the
What is it?
ambience. It's
How
the
it's different. Maybe they make more money because it's their own. The beers have a better
dang,
margin. I don't know.
that's a
oh
good
yeah,
point.
I think that's
They
definitely
brew
what
it
it is.
themselves, so
I mean,
yeah.
and they sell like they sell to like they sell to like a gas. Like I see Coppertail. I think I've seen
At
Green
restaurants and
Bench.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they make their money and it's good and it's but I thought about that because I actually spoke to a friend of mine about that and I just basically asked the question, would a bar make more money if they, for example, had their own distillery and they made
Yeah, make
alcohol,
more
like they
money,
made
yeah.
liquor or something
They
like
will
that?
make more money.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But then for us, does it make sense for us to play venues like that unless we know we can sell it out? Probably, right?
Right.
Unless and the mentality I've been taking is that I'm not actively trying to book those places unless someone approaches us and is like, "Do you want to be on this bill?" You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I'm not actively like trying to book bars that need us to bring people to make any money. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Because
No,
it just
it
doesn't
makes
make any
sense.
sense.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And again, I love playing at the Crowbar. I love playing at I would like to play at the Orpheum because that's a cool venue too.
We played
But
once.
yeah, we
Anybody
did.
knows them,
But
hit Danny up.
but it's just like it just doesn't make financial sense for the venue. It doesn't make sense for us. I mean,
And we have bar owners tell us things like that, and when they speak to us one on one, it's like, well, realistically, how many people can you get here? And it's like, well, you know, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't see what my product, what I'm telling you I can do for you, has to do with that. It's just kind of confusing because if Jack Daniels walked into these places and told them sell our stuff, they would be like, what's the deal in terms of like, do I need to add you, whatever's going, but I'm going to sell it because I know I can make money off of this. But why are you looking at something like what we do the same way? I don't understand the connection.
I guess ultimately my issue with it is, and I've said this to my mom, I've said this to you, Mom. My issue with that type of system in play is that not only are we supposed to bring the people, we're supposed to provide entertainment, and we're supposed to promote the show as well. So we have to do all three of those things, and it's not easy. It's not.
And if you see how other businesses work, usually the ones that need something, which in this term would be people walking through the door, would take care of those things. Because McDonald's is on TV. McDonald's does its own ads, its own Facebook thing. They do their own thing, and then people go. So I just don't get how that's been running. And I've read like articles about this and stuff, and it's funny that it's not just.
Okay.
This cat's going crazy right now.
Pam is having a hard time.
Yeah, she's like, "Why are you guys podcasting?"
She
I
does
just-
not like the podcast.
No,
I think
she doesn't like this conversation at all.
Yeah, she's like, "Stop it, guys, stop it."
She happens to be an owner of a venue, and
Yeah.
she's getting upset.
She's getting mad. I don't know. I wish I could articulate what I'm trying to think a little bit better. I just find it because you just said something really interesting. It's like when we go to play at certain places, we have to bring you your customers. We have to promote it ourselves, so we have to do.
Well, they're seeing you as a promotional. The way they see it is you're going to take advantage of the venue in the sense that it's a place where you can expose your music. Therefore, they feel that you're the one that needs to compensate them for that by bringing public.
But it's just like
and that's what doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, when
to
did that
me.
start happening? Because again, and then so the last piece of this was, and then we have to go, and then we have to work, essentially, right?
Exactly.
We have
for
to
free.
we have to spend our gas.
Right.
We have to lug our equipment
That's
around.
exactly what.
It's a pain in the ass to like set this stuff up. It just is.
Yeah.
Especially a drummer. It's
that is exactly.
So
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
understand why all three of these things aren't really looked at like, well, in other business models, where does this all get done? well, the place that needs these things.
Young bands, stop boycotting all those places. Don't play there anymore.
You need live music. You need the customer, and you need publicity. So why not just do it? I don't know. You know.
I think
And
that
I'm speaking about places in general because it's happening all over the places that we've played.
it would be nice. It would just be nice for the venue to at least, even if it's $50, to just at least guarantee that to
Oh,
each band.
$50 per band member.
Yeah. I mean that's crazy.
That is
That would
crazy.
never happen. That's more money than we get at
The
Green
thing
Bench.
is, though, is that we think it's crazy because it's not the norm. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
But but in reality, is $50 for a 3-piece per band member really that crazy? You know, again, and what's got me going now is the way that you brought it up. It's like, well, in most business models, the ones offering the service, it just sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. I am live music. I am entertainment. I'm one piece of your pie. You need people to walk in, so you're using me to bring those people. Then I don't
And
know
this-
if you're
these-
promoting your business well enough.
Okay,
These
so you know what?
websites-
Hold on. I just so this goes back to the people don't care, because I think their argument would be okay, because then why would you pay, for example, a cover band, right, to play at your venue, right, for hours, right? Like those people, those are the people that make money, right? The people
Because
that
the
play
music
cover,
attracts
because
people.
because they're like, oh, I know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the issue. The issue is the people. The people need to like support it. That's the only way that would change. But that's the thing.
Absolutely.
Here in Florida, it's not good. It's just not a good scene here. Like people just don't care enough to just come out
Well,
and support local music. It's just the case. I
Well,
mean,
it's gonna be bands like you guys and the bands that you'll know to start carrying the same message. And as you carry the same message over and over again, little by little, changes will happen. But
Yeah.
it kind of needs
I
to come
hope
together.
that I don't want this to seem like we're being negative. We'll go play like tomorrow anywhere. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. But it is something that it's like, it would be good for them to know that we're not stupid, that we're doing it because we want to, essentially, at this point, you know, and we're doing it because we do want to play. You know what I mean? But I don't see any other type of business working this way except music.
I agree.
Yeah.
Local live music. It's the only thing that's working essentially ass backwards.
yeah. I don't know. I wonder how it is in the
There's
comedy scene.
others, but definitely music. I mean,
Interesting.
because art in general has
Sure, yeah.
similar problems. You know, you see painters, people that are painters, that they have issues getting their product out, and they have to expose it for free in places, hoping for someone to pay for it, and sits there for a year, and
Yeah.
and the painting sometimes suffers because the air conditioning is hitting the painting, or there's too much dust. And I mean, I
Like
think
what
the
we
entire arts
Yeah.
suffers from this. Is not as valuable. Not this society doesn't see it as valuable overall.
It's where we went to see this guy that did our artwork. When we went to the thing, I'm pretty sure he had to rent that.
Yali Island.
I'm pretty sure he had to rent that space.
I mean,
Probably.
and then there's places that and there are communities that value more the arts and the culture, and like Danny's saying, there's cities that value more music.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And I guess that's a really good point, that maybe those problems don't exist in New York, maybe they don't exist in Memphis, Seattle, you know, certain cities that are known for music, but definitely it's something to have, you know, young talent like you guys. I'm glad that you're now seeking other type of venues, these breweries, and that also it's going to show that, you know, your music is getting better, so you may not be available at some of these other bars that don't want to pay you. So
but it's not that. It's I mean,
We're
I don't
gonna-
think anyone, if you do own a bar, I mean, I doubt anyone would be listening to this that's the case, but I'm pretty sure
Oh, we'll
you
like to hear what they have to say.
you wouldn't disagree with the fact that we should be planning, we should be trying to like our goal is to make this a career. Our goal is to make a living off of this. So you wouldn't I don't think you would be I don't think you would disagree with the decision of not necessarily wanting to actively search for a show that's not going to pay. Because it's
Exactly.
not like it's not like
Don't apologize. Don't be apologetic. It has to happen. It's a business decision.
It's a business decision. Exactly. It's like if I told
need to
you
apologize.
if I told you that you're going to get paid to do something, or you could do this other thing where you won't get paid to do something. It's like, which one are you going to choose? In any situation, if I have to fix something, if I'm going to go choose two different things to do, am I going to go to work to make money, or am I going to go do the same job?
And that's a really
the
good
same
point.
work?
Artists don't see themselves as a business, but it is at some point. If that's what you want to do ultimately in your life, you got to treat it as a business.
I think that what
know,
starts happening is that everyone around the artist goes, "Oh, well, you like doing that, so you should just want to do it."
free, regardless,
And
which
it's
I do.
like-
It's an art. An artist. I mean, some people do an art for that, but if you want to make a career out of it, then you can't.
If you love
be apologetic about it.
if you love art, and it's what you want to do with your life, obviously
you have to make money at it. Otherwise,
obviously
how
I
you gonna
want to
live?
make money doing it so that I can be
Exactly.
happy and still live like a normal life. So it's like,
It's true. No, I mean,
All
that's
right, so
exactly what it is.
people lose
we
sight of
can
that.
welcome comments on this podcast from those that are listening and those that you're going to share it with, and maybe join us in a next conversation.
This will be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that the last point got very heated.
Yeah, feel free, if anyone does end up listening to this, to comment on our YouTube, message us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And then also we have which I haven't posted yet, but we do have a Gmail, houseofiband@gmail.com. So you can send us an email if you have any comments on it. But just we're gonna wrap this up now. Thank you, Mom, for joining us on the podcast. Hopefully we can do more with you
Layla.
in the future.
All right. So exciting.
So upcoming events. I'm posting this tomorrow, more than likely, which is literally a day before. But regardless, I'm gonna talk about it anyway. We're playing with Phantom Funk, Spork, and the States at Lakeland Live, April 27th. Show starts at 8. You can get tickets for $5. And then we are playing May 29th at. Oh shit! The Cavs just won.
What happened
Buzzer
there?
beater. I cannot believe that.
That's crazy. The Cavs just won. Anyway, I'm not gonna plug the Cavs anymore.
By what? 3 points?
just by a shot.
A three-pointer.
Yeah. So, we're playing May 29th at what is it? Will's Pub, right?
Yes.
Will's Pub in Orlando with Mark with a C. And then we just booked, which we haven't made an event page for it, but we just got booked to play at Cage Brewing with Last U. So
Where is that at?
that's in St. Petersburg.
All right.
So yeah.
What's the date?
June 23rd. Yes, June 23rd. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and yeah, we'll post the next one very, very shortly.
All right, bye.
Yeah.